So we're now on the air. Hello there, everybody. At this point, what I will be doing is kind of bouncing backwards and forwards and sort of introducing certainly Alyssa as she gets herself ready. Alyssa, however, is struggling to actually join us, or she hasn't joined us yet. I think that's because at this point she is currently getting herself into a decent position where she can broadcast. San Diego Comic Fest, he says, as the words are coming out of my mouth. So hello there, Alyssa. How are you?
I'm well. Give me a few minutes while I do the setup, but I do have the connection going. So just
Excellent stuff.
got to.
Yep.
I'm
Well,
not sure
we're live, so I'm just kind of doing a little bit of an introduction.
Well,
So
you go right ahead, and Aaron may
you
join in
go,
a few
girl.
minutes, and
Yeah.
and off.
Fair enough. Okay. Right. I just want to apologise very quickly for last week. At the end of the day, it was so completely out of our hands. It was a case of basically lack of sleep and lack of any kind of Wi-Fi signal that we had any availability to. It was rather quite annoying, to be perfectly honest. But at the end of the day, this is what happens when you go to the southeast coast of England, which is frankly where people this particular town is where people go to die. Margate's nice and it's pretty, but it's very much out of the beaten track. Hopefully you did enjoy some of the video and also the audio of the panels that I put up for the ICE International Comics Expo down at Margate, and also the previous week. I hope you enjoyed our little bit of live reporting from the two cons. We had Alyssa who joined us, and I did a thing from the MCon event in, is Margate a colder version of Florida? Yeah, I'll go along with that. To be honest, okay, if I'm going to describe it, Portsmouth is where, Portsmouth and Brighton is where old people go to die. Margate is where hipsters go to learn how to become old people to die. Lots of hipsters, lots of hipsters in Margate. But there you go. That's the way it works. But it's been a very busy couple of weeks, so I hope you've bared with us, and I hope you've missed us, and thank you very much indeed. We're 2 minutes away, so we're going to dive into the show very shortly indeed. Lots of stuff to talk about, as you can imagine. We are going to be having our live report from San Diego Comic Fest, of which a lot of stuff's been happening. We've also got a little bit of a thing that we're going to be covering, UniversalFanCon, of which, as you can imagine, a lot of people have been getting into because it's just turned into one of the most bizarre setups that I've ever seen. So we are going to be getting into that, into the timeline of UniversalFanCon. We did invite on social media a number of the organizers to come on the show to talk their case, to talk about what they intended for the show. They liked the invitation several times and then didn't respond. So who knows? I don't know if anyone wants to kind of go to the UniversalFanCon Twitter and just say, well, you know what? They're live. They're going to be talking about you. Do you want to jump in? So please do whatever you wish to do. We would love to try and get their attention. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anything you want us to talk about, do let us know. We are going to be touching briefly on Hotel Apocalypse, which I think is now in the rearview mirror. The con in Northern Ireland that seemed a bit sparse. I think that's pretty much it. You've just pretty much covered it. But yeah, we could talk about Showmasters here in the UK. Anything that, well, yeah, but there you go. There's a topic that we want to talk about. Jump in on the Q&A, please. Do let us know if there's anything that you wanted us to talk about. If you did take part in Hotel Apocalypse, let us know how you've done. Are you waiting on the wait list? Did you get a room that you wanted to? Let us know how it's gone. So please do jump in on that. We've got ourselves a number of people watching already. Andrew English is watching from London, waiting on the hotel list. Super Katchik is watching from her office, finishing some work before she heads to Vegas tomorrow. Excellent stuff. Welcome along. We've got Leanne D saying hi. We've got ourselves Michael P saying hi. So let's Andrew English may book via booking.com or via booking as in waitlist. Michael P got a group of rooms which is very impressive considering it seemed incredibly brutal this time round. This seems to be the harshest hotel apocalypse I've seen. I don't know if it's just a case of we do kind of speak into our own little bubble of people that we know and who are we are good friends with. And at the end of the day, sooner or later on a certain timeline, we are going to not be able to get the rooms that we get. But there we go. Leanne D, we're at the Hilton. Michael P is they got a group of rooms at the Hilton Bayfront. Andrew Dickinson got nothing. That's a shame. I can imagine that you are not on your own. I've just been seeing very few people getting the rooms that they want. So it's just been particularly harsh, unfortunately, when it comes to Hotel Apocalypse. But we'll touch on that as we go through. Anything else that you want to talk about, do let us know. But welcome to Talking Comic-Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. We're back, baby. It's been, I know that it's been a very harsh couple of weeks, purely because we had internet issues, we had lack of sleep. It's just been, a fun one. But we're back with a vengeance and lots to talk about. So welcome along. My name's Leonard Sultana, and I post under an Englishman in San Diego. I have with me my partner in crime, which is Alyssa Franks from the Friends of Comic-Con forum, but I spot a familiar face.
You do. Aaron is with me. Whoops. There he is. We're just now still getting things set up. So I'm going to pass the camera to Aaron for one moment while I hook up our audio, our headset audio.
Okay. Fair enough. Considering
signal coming through.
It's coming through okay. It's relatively stable. So let's see how it goes.
If you can hold this, Aaron, sure. While I insert the little thingy into the gimbal. Okay.
There we go. It's all technical talk now. Oops. It is looking very, very nice in nice weather in San Diego right now. But as soon as we get a decent picture from Alyssa, because she's getting herself sorted, and Aaron as well.
Okay, try that.
Hit it with an hammer. Have you turned it off and turned it back on again?
Yeah.
There you go. We're talking
trying to balance. I'm trying to.
School.
Yeah.
IT.
Okay.
I mean, like I don't know if
Anyway, what I would like to say very quickly before we do kind of head over to Alyssa and Aaron. Once again, thank you very much indeed for all the support over the last couple of weeks. I really want to appreciate everyone's comments as well over the last couple of weeks regarding the show, and that you missed us last week, and hopefully you're back with watching us. So anyway, I think I see Aaron on screen. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. So, yeah, how's your Comic Fest been so far? You've been a busy boy.
It's been incredible. I popped my panel moderating cherry on Friday, so that was fun.
How was that?
It was cool. It sort of happened, I guess, by accident. Well, unintended, because my friends from the Accidental Aliens asked me a couple of days ago if I could moderate the panel that they were on. Basically, the gist of their panel was from Comic Fest to Comic Studio, because they all met here at Comic Fest, San Diego Comic Fest, a few years ago. So maybe we can pass by them a little bit later, and you can maybe talk to them a little bit. So, but it was an interesting panel because they all doing the independent creator thing, but they all came together like Voltron and have become something even better together. So. It was a very, very fun panel, and I was very honored that they asked me.
What was the panel about?
Basically, it's how they came together. Their origin story here at San Diego Comic Fest, and how they sort of came together as a group at first, to sort of pass ideas from each other, and sort of come together every once in a while and draw together. and write together. And then it sort of coalesced into an anthology back in 2017. And so they had a Kickstarter for that, a Kickstarter for 2018, both of which were successful. So we sort of go into sort of Kickstarter tips, advice for other independent creators. And like my friend Scott Lost, his book, his solo book, Second Shift, his heroes work side jobs to, or jobs, regular jobs to make ends meet. So it's kind of cool to sort of compare and contrast what they're going through, similar to what Scott's book is about.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you there for a second. We can barely hear you.
Oh, really? Hey, Alyssa, is there a way to turn up the volume on the headset? Okay.
It's sounding like all the microphone is coming through the phone itself.
Does it sound like the phone is going through the phone? The sound is going through the phone itself?
I just turned up the volume.
Okay. Can you hear me better?
Try again.
Flip that out. Okay. Tell them we're changing things.
Okay, we're changing things.
Okay. Yes, I tried to turn up the volume at this end, but at the end of the day, it was proving a little bit awkward there. So bear with us while we do get this technical issue sorted out. Oh, that sounds a little bit better.
Okay, awesome.
There you go.
All right.
Right, so just to recap, it was a panel about San Diego Comic Fest, about the history, about the inception of the show, yeah?
Well, it was about my friends, the Accidental Aliens. They're sort of a group that came together here at San Diego Comic Fest a few years ago. My friend Scott Lost, he sort of used San Diego Comic Fest as a way to sort of look for new talent and to collaborate with other artists and creators. And so they sort of met here at San Diego Comic Fest, and they created an anthology back in 2017. So basically, the gist of the panel was from Comic Fest to Comic Studio, because now they're a full-fledged studio with a bunch of other artists and creators. So they've had 2 successful Kickstarter campaigns for 2 of their anthologies, the 2017 anthology and the recent 2018 anthology. So in the panel, we sort of go into the trials and tribulations as a independent artist, going through a side hustle, and they go into some of their Kickstarter tips, to try and get people's Kickstarters successfully funded. So it was a fun panel, and I was honored to do it.
Excellent stuff. We're kind of getting interesting picture from you at the moment. We're kind of wobbling all over the place. I don't know if Alyssa's kind of sorting that out as well. And I think we've lost picture as well. I don't know if they're still there. Oh no, they've dropped out completely. Oh well, typical. So they are just working themselves out. Alyssa is drunk. It's possible. From all accounts, it's turned into a very fun show at San Diego Comic Fest. A lot of stuff that's been announced, and a lot of celebration, which has been good. So I think we'll have to possibly re-invite her again, but I think it's just a case of finding a good, strong circle of where. So we'll try and get them back on. Listen, I want to say thank you very much indeed to everyone who's jumping in. We've got Into the Blue Mister who's joining us. Hello, welcome along. Angela Copley, hello. There we go. Okay, what the hell happened there?
Okay, well, sorry about all that. We're basically having some technical difficulties. I am trying the new technology, just so people understand the new technology of the gimbal, and trying to get that activated on the same time as we're doing a hangout is causing a little bit of a problem. So we are just doing old school. I have the phone in my hand pointed at my face.
There you go.
And Aaron is whipping out. Aaron is whipping out his selfie stick, and we're going to take a walk through Artist Alley in half a minute. Since Aaron is a little bit more familiar with people, I think what I'm going to do is have him do the walkthrough if he's up for it. Are you awake enough?
Oh, good grief.
I am. I'm alive on air, Robert. No, I will talk with you in a moment. No, it's fine, Robert.
Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to?
One of our long-term forum members, Robert. I forget your last name, Robert. Silva. Our Silva Con fan. Silva Con fan, and an an old timer, so to speak, who's been around for many years and has many questions about such things as parking and so forth. So excellent. I'm just going to do a little flip camera if I can figure out how to do it. There we go. And we have Robert. Hello, that's fine. Just, random people that we're meeting. We're meeting a lot of people. I got to meet AZT from the forum and a bunch of other people. Thank you so much, Robert. Let's get Aaron's selfie stick set up here.
So I think they could just about hear us. So I'll ask the question anyway. So how has the convention been so far in terms of, how it's felt, how it's grown? Because it really does feel like it has kind of grown quite dramatically over the last couple of years.
I tell you what, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Great. Oh, you did. Thank you. Let's go over that a little bit later. Aaron's got a short schedule, and okay. I'll be able to stay with you for a few minutes. Let's get on to Artist Alley, because I know people want to get an idea of how everything is going. And once I find a more stable situation, I will be able to do the whole thing. So I'm going to give the phone back to Aaron, and we're going to take a quick walk through Artist Alley. Oh, we've got more people here who are joining us. This was it.
We'll go over there.
Okay.
just one of them will come in their way.
Okay.
Just one of them will come in their way. YouTube Live.
We're lining up people as we speak. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to pass it off to I'm going to pass it off to Aaron. It's that kind of a con. When I
said that we were back with bang, this is what we meant. We're back to our usual programming schedule.
Well, this is what being at a convention is like, and that's what we do. That's our focus, is to bring the live convention to people. And you've always got like 3 different options. You got plan A, plan B, and plan C. And this is Comic-Con, San Diego Comic Fest is no exception to that rule.
Yeah.
At all. Okay, here's Aaron for a walk through the Artist Alley.
Okay, here we go.
Just put it under. How do I switch it?
How do we switch it? It's that little thing. It's the little thing.
There you go.
Oops.
Oh, there you go.
The great thing
we're back.
The great thing about this is we're getting to see Aaron's beautiful face. I have no problem with that.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Okay.
So, are you doing good, sir?
Not too bad. Right. So we're going to walk through Artist Alley. Is there any way we can flip the phone so we can see where you're headed and have a look round? So, or is that beyond us?
Oh yeah, there we
go. There we go. Okay.
This is one part of Artist Alley. It's sort of broken up into different sections.
It's really kind of close-knit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And so they have this section.
It's a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. I mean, there seems to be a real kind of space.
There is. And so I guess Alyssa's leading me to another direction here.
She's a Pied Piper. What can you say?
There's some awesome artwork over here. Hello, everybody. You're live in the UK.
And interwebs.
And around the world as well. So we have this section.
I'm trying to see some familiar names, some familiar faces.
You may see some familiar names in the other room. We'll go there really quick.
Okay.
Excuse us. Excuse me.
It is really kind of, well, certainly this area is very close knit.
Yeah, they can do without the third row of tables right there in the middle.
Yeah, that was awkward.
So we're on the 9th floor of the hotel, and so it's a little bit quieter here. I'm sure are you familiar with Lee Cozy?
I am.
Yeah, he has this corner spot right here. So this is some of his artwork.
It's like little corners and little hidden gems.
Yeah. So I guess he's not here right now. I was going to maybe see if we could talk to him for a little bit.
I'm just going to work out I mean, it's what, 10:15 your time?
Oh, yeah, just about.
Yeah.
It's a little quiet here today in this part. Hey, what's up, Emily?
Well, what's the social life been like? At the end of the day, it's all down to if it's all about the evening, then people may take their time coming in. Yeah,
definitely. Social life's been good. They've had some pretty cool little after hour, at the bar here. So I'm sure Alyssa can probably speak to that a little bit better than me.
Okay, you've just painted her with one hell of a brush there. Be careful.
But I'm here with the Accidental Aliens. This is a group of awesome creators that I did the panel with on Friday. So would you like to maybe take a couple of minutes to talk to them?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay. I guess first up we have Emily Rocha here. Hey, Emily, let me just pass this on to you.
Hello?
Hello. Is this where you just suddenly have a random English voice in your head?
Yep.
I love doing that. It's fantastic. Hello there, Emily. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How's it been so far? I mean, here we go.
That's our anthology that's being held up right now. That was our last year's version, and this year's anthology that we just finished is at the printers right now. We're gonna have it in 5 days for Free Comic Book Day.
Wow. Okay, so it's all guns blazing at this point.
Yep.
Fantastic. So, I mean, is this the first time at San Diego Comic Fest for yourselves, or is it something you've been to before?
For some of us, but I've been here all 6 years. This is a great
wow.
show. I love the sense of community, and this is a great place to be. It's a great place to talk and have a lot of conversations. It's been a wonderful show this year.
Excellent stuff. Andrew, we've got a couple of people watching on the YouTube and they're commenting. Quite right. I didn't actually do a full introduction. Introduce yourself, please.
Oh, well, my name's Emily Rocha. I'm a local San Diego artist. I started out in the industry as a colorist, and now I'm doing my own story pages with the Accidental Aliens. We all got together as a drawing group, and now we're a creative studio.
Excellent stuff. Back to the Comic Fest. I mean, you've seen it grow. You've seen it develop. And this year it's really felt from the social media that we've seen and all the pictures that we've seen that it's really kind of just really stepped up a notch this year. Is that how it's felt?
Absolutely. Yeah. People are excited. The artist alley is full this year. We have a great group of people, and I feel like it's really been stepped up a lot. I've seen so many more people this year than in previous years.
And I understand the panel went well yesterday as well.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you, Aaron, for moderating. It was great to really share. It was great to share the success of artists working together and really working on drawing inspiration from each other instead of just kind of lone wolfing it. Because it's great when creators get together and make each other better.
Well, that's what a convention like Comic Fest is all about, and it certainly seems that that's what the organisers kind of encourage, which is fantastic. So, like you say, you've got this new book that's lined up and is getting printed as we speak for New
Yes.
Comic Book Day. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, we all get together and we have a 10-month deadline to each put together a 6-page story. And then at the end of the 10-month deadline, we just mash it all together in a book. We raise Kickstarter funds. This year, we were just $200 shy of twice our goal. So we did really well this year.
Nice.
And we met our stretch goals to have this hologram cover done again, this shiny cover. So I'm excited. It's going to this one is the 2017 is a green theme. This next one is going to be a nice, cool blue cover. And I'm excited about it. We have a lot of good stories this year. And so, yeah, we all put our own efforts in. Next year, we're theming it as a monster, like a Monster Mash type thing. We're doing a creature feature. But this year, it's really just about our individual stories and the things that are really near and dear to our hearts.
That's fantastic. And we're getting getting to see some pages there from the book as well. That incredible stuff. Where's the best place for people to find more information about the book?
Well, we are at accidentalaliens.com. Pretty soon, as soon as the new book comes back, we're going to have the new book up there for sale. And the old book is up there. There's a few copies left. And also, we have artist profiles on everybody that was involved in the anthology this year. Excellent stuff. Well, as one accidental alien to another, I want to say congratulations on achieving the stretch goals, and all the very best for the book. And thank you so much. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Really appreciate it. No problem. Thank you. Thank you. Oh wow. So there we go. A quick drop in there with San Diego creator. And fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for bringing us that. I presume that the panel was recorded.
It was. Well, I don't think it was recorded. I took notes during it. I'm assuming that Aaron has a recording of the panel. Yeah, that's what I meant. and he's nodding. Yes. We also have Dan Barry is here. I'm going to put him on for a minute just so that he can give you an idea about where he's going with everything before he needs to leave. So we're kind of we're winging everything by ear. So here he is.
Hey, Leonard.
Hi there, Dan. So, we'd like to talk to you for about 45 minutes to an hour about San Diego Comic Fest, because I know that you haven't got anything else to do today.
Oh, nothing at all. Yeah, just sitting here doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I can imagine it's been a busy one. What have you been up to this weekend?
Just tons of panels. I recorded a bunch for you guys. And in about half an hour, I'm going to record the San Diego Comic-Con 1977 panel at Comic Fest.
Now, I heard about this. You kind of messaged me about this. This is a panel about 1977 at San Diego Comic-Con. Who's actually going to be on that panel?
A lot of people who I know who are there, like Jackie Estrada is going to be there. I think Mark Evanier. I can't remember some of the other names are going to be there.
Fantastic. I mean, those are kind of like the big heavy hitters of the classic old school Comic-Con days. That's fantastic.
Yep. So I figure it'd be a good panel to sit on and record for you guys.
Brilliant stuff. Looking forward to it. What's been your take on, very quickly before we hand you back to Alyssa, I mean, and let you get off, of course. I mean, what's been your take on, because you did a live report for us last year. You've seen this show grow and develop. What's your take been on Comic Fest 2018?
I do like the show. The fact that Artist Alley is kind of a different building makes it a little bit tough for vendors, but it's still a good, nice size Artist Alley. And the vendor hall is pretty decent size compared to last year.
Has it felt slicker? Has it felt better curated? What's been your take on that?
The panels seem a little bit more curated. Matt's doing a great job helping with all the panels and getting foot traffic and crowds in here.
Well, I mean, it is his second year as the chairman, so I mean, we're wishing him all the very best, and it sounds like he's doing a fantastic job. I mean, everything I'm reading coming out of Comic Fest, it certainly seems to be working. So, well, we look forward to seeing more from you, Dan, over the course, and yes, we will be posting your pictures that you're putting into the Dropbox. I swear, I'll get them up faster than I have been your previous galleries. So there we go. Listen, thank you very much indeed for your time, mate.
No problem. Talk to you later, Leonard.
Take care of that, man. Look after yourself.
Bye.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it's sounding like Matt Dumford, who is the chairman, has just been doing a sterling job of organizing this event this year. So
he has. I'll go into that in a few minutes.
Sure.
I've got another creative from Accidental Aliens here with us. Aaron's gonna probably. Do you want to do the intro, Aaron? Travis can do his own intro. He's a creative, with, like I said, with the Accidental Aliens. One of the really neat things is how much support everybody in the community is giving everybody else. It's a real family feel con. And that certainly came through when I saw the Accidental Aliens panel. So without further ado, Travis, I forget what position you have. I think that's probably going to be Leonard's first question for you. So let me get you the headset.
All right. Hello, this is Travis with the Accidental Aliens.
Yeah, no, my first question is, what's your favorite cheese?
I like a good brie.
There you go. It's a nice, solid first question. Thank you very much for taking time to talk to us, Travis.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself and tell us about your position with Accidental Aliens.
Sure, I am a writer with the Accidental Aliens, and I have written my own comic book, The Unstoppable Cherub. She's a superhero with a limb difference, just like mine. I don't know if you can see, I have an upper limb difference where my arms are shorter than everyone else's. So when I was growing up, I didn't see anyone who looked like me, so I created a hero. I also wrote a story in our anthology. It's called There's Something in the Green Flash, and the Accidental Aliens have all pulled their resources together to create this anthology. And we just funded our 2018 anthology, which is going to be out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've just been hearing about that. I mean, the one thing that I didn't actually get the chance to ask before was, I presume these are all San Diego creators, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, we're all San Diego based. We met right here at Comic Fest. We just met in Artist Alley. We really liked each other's work. We started to get together as a regular art group, meeting at one of the local comic shops here. And just from that, we kind of started supporting each other, started pulling our resources together, and decided to print a book together.
Well, if you're going to do it, I think all coming together at a convention is amazing.
Yes.
So how long has it taken for this particular project? Because by the sounds of things, it kind of goes from year to year. It's an annual event. Is that right?
Right. We give ourselves a 10-month deadline to get all the artwork done, all the writing done, to get everything done before we kickstart it. That way, when we launch our Kickstarter, the project is ready to go. All the artwork's done. All we need is support getting the book printed and distributed. That's
a really solid way of doing it. Because then you've got a kind of product that you're presenting, which is pretty much already done, which is that's a
right.
good way of doing it.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things that we discuss is we've all supported the Kickstarters where once the deadline comes, it takes months, sometimes years for the product to come out. And we didn't want to do that. We wanted it to be set and ready to go as soon as the Kickstarter was over.
That is such a solid way of doing it. That's you'd think that some people would actually come at it a little bit like that for more projects.
Yeah.
To be fair, excellent stuff. So what's your plans for the rest of the convention? I mean, is it just staying by the table, or are you getting the chance to have a look around and seeing anybody else?
I've only gotten a chance to get away from the table a couple of times, just to go downstairs and say hi to a few friends, but pretty much for the rest of the day, I'm going to be here at the Accidental Aliens booth, selling our books, selling the anthology, selling our prints, and just saying hi and making new friends.
Excellent stuff. Listen, Travis, thank you very much indeed for your time. Really appreciate speaking to you. We got it before, but we'll go again. Where's the best place to find out about this book?
The best place is to go to www.accidentalaliens.com. You'll find out when the next one's coming out. It has links to all of our social medias right on the website.
Excellent stuff. Travis, thank you very much indeed for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Travis. Wonderful.
Excellent. Right, shall we scoot on and have a look around at the rest of the building, or where do you want to head?
What we're going to do is we're going to take you into the Frankenstein Cafe, which is the largest venue, the largest hall in the entire place. How this is set up is this is the main elevator area for the Artist Alley, and you can kind of get an idea. We started down here to my right, camera left, and we did a big circle through Artist Alley. So it's not huge in the WonderCon sense of
Sure.
it, but everybody knows each other, and it's a very friendly environment.
It's a community.
It's a community, and you really kind of get the feeling that the people who attend here have known each other for years. So you get a lot of talk back in the panel without a microphone. That said, what we have here is the entrance to the Frankenstein Cafe. Much to my chagrin and promise, there is no special Frankenstein drink this time. So Mark is going to, be devastated to hear that I am not still drunk from last night, nor am I nursing a hangover, which is like an amazing thing.
You are letting the side down. You're letting yourself down.
Totally. I mean, these things happen. I am a lightweight after all. What I really enjoy about this is the time they've taken to really make this a presence here. So you really are they're trying to enter the cafe complete with complete with other things. We're going to take I'm going to be quiet because there is a panel going on in here, but Aaron's going to go in and just give you guys a look around so you could see.
The great thing is I can talk as loud as I like, and you guys have to be quiet. Super Cat Chick is saying, I'm a huge horror geek and loving this theme. So cool. Okay. So it really is just kind of really close and intimate. Yep, I like that. Nice enough.
Exactly. Yeah. And, we have at 11 o'clock, there are literally about 4 panels that are occurring, which I would love to go to, all 4 of them. We have a kaiju panel. We've got, which a lot of my friends are going to. Aaron is going to be doing a take on that, so I'm going to let him speak to what's going to be happening with the kaiju panel. There's a Greg Benford, Hugo-winning science fiction author, is going to be doing a panel that I would love to go see. There's a panel on Europa, which is happening. You've got Blade Runner 49 is also, there's a panel on that. We saw it last night, late last night. We got some deep dishes from some of the technicians and showrunners on Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, Dune. So real historic stuff, and got some wonderful stories about De Laurentiis and David Lynch, and those kinds of just humor events. They had an auction last night, which turned out very well. I ended up winning one of my artist edition books that I didn't have, so I was like totally into it. I'm not sure, Aaron, do you need to leave or? Okay, okay.
By the sounds of things, I think we've got 10 minutes with you both before you both have to kind of disappear.
Well, what I wanted to do is as soon as Aaron leaves, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can borrow his selfie stick and head over and give you the layout of the show floor, so you'll understand how spread out this is. So that's Aaron. Let me, can you talk, actually at this point, can you talk to one of the other major events that happened this week, like that Baltimore Con? What was the story with that? I have been so out of it. They did a Kickstarter. Speaking of Kickstarter campaigns with Accidental Aliens.
Well, that's where I was going to segue into. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do that while you're very quickly sorting yourself out with your bits and pieces. It's something that we can only really touch on at the moment. It is something that's in development at the moment. It's something, like I say, that we have invited the organizers onto the show They liked the invite and then went completely dark. I'm trying to work out exactly what their deal is, because quite frankly, the main issue that I'm finding with UniversalFanCon is the issue is all about communication. At the end of the day, this is an event that was which was funded via a Kickstarter campaign. But it was only the Kickstarter supporters that then started receiving emails on, let's have a look, on Saturday. Sorry, late on Friday, sorry, basically via their personal contact information through a CC email blast, which meant everybody got it in one big long chain, which was very awkward. Basically also meant that everybody got everyone else's addresses. So it really was a little bit awkward on that regard. But basically they cancelled. Well, let's just back up a second. They didn't cancel the show. They've postponed it. That also kind of gives them some kind of legal recourse, because that also means that they are not canceling the show. They don't have to give their money back. It's something that they are going to be holding later on down the line. They haven't, however, announced the reason why the whole thing is being cancelled. Is it to do with venue? Is it to do with lack of interest? Is it lack of ticket sales? It's just been particularly awkward. It's been put together by Jamie Broadnax from Black Girl Nerds and Robert Butler of the Black Geeks. And it was designed as the first multi-fandom con dedicated to inclusion, highlighting women, LGBTQ, the disabled, and persons of color. I have no problem with the whole idea, because it really is a sense of embracing diversity, which is always, for myself, a fun thing. The Kickstarter started off with a goal was $25,000, with backers donating anything from $1 to $5,000, with the most average donating around $35. The whole idea was very much embraced by the community as this new event, which embraced the various fandoms that are out there, which may not get a representation at a standard event. However, like I say, this was an event that was then postponed 1 week from the actual event going ahead. It was supposed to be taking place next weekend. The thing about that is you've got not only attendees, you've got exhibitors, you've got panel hosts, panel guests, all booking their time in Baltimore, booking their travel plans to get to the city, all of them making their plans and then effectively having the rug pulled out from underneath them. One or two people were doing yesterday a lot of talent blasts for people that had lost out significant amount of money on cancelled hotels, cancelled trips. It really was just awkward. I mean, we've got Saritas P saying it's been postponed indefinitely. That is just so, it's incredibly bang out of order, is that? We've got Jeremy Whiteley, who I'm a massive fan of. He's a guy behind books such as Princeless that we're big supporters of on An Englishman in San Diego. I've done a lot of show in the past 2 months, so it wasn't until after AwesomeCon 2 weeks ago that I realized I hadn't gotten flight info. So I emailed. I was assured everything was cool and they'd get it booked. A week ago, it still hasn't happened. It says a lot that there was still announcements that this event was still going ahead as of Thursday evening. It just proved really kind of awkward. He followed that up with a tweet. I'm still finding out from my friends who paid for tables that we're only finding out secondhand from me. Last I checked, FanCon's site, Twitter, and Facebook had not been updated. Let me say again, this was supposed to happen next week. This is just insane. We did also have one of the employees of the organizers, FanCons, which was Melanie Dion, publicly resigning on Twitter, basically stating that she just felt that, well, I'm not going to say rats leaving a sinking ship, because at the end of the day, it's not, it's saying about to herself, but it really did feel that people were wanting to get out of this organization, that it wasn't working to any kind of standard at all. FanCon Assemble, this was indeed Robert, one of the organizers. He did actually delete a Twitter thread But it did start with the facts are we wanted the best experience possible for our fans. Logistically, it wasn't working at this time. Okay, we decided to explore other options that would allow us to still have a great event, even if we had to postpone. And let me have a quick look through. Like I say, it is a thread that has been deleted. We didn't get a chance to confirm next steps, notify guests or partner staffs, volunteers, fans, or anyone. The hotel was told our plans and without warning, notification, or anything, decided to cancel everything and email everyone. The last time I kind of saw any, I mean, when I've seen live shows do this, they only really pull out, or when hotels do this, is when at the end of the day, they haven't got their money or their paperwork. In other words, it really is down to communication. And they just don't seem to have gotten communication right across the board from this. This was on Friday, on the 20th, in the afternoon. This is Jamie Broadnax stating to her followers, "Thank you everyone for the overwhelming DMs and emails of support. It's a tough day, and while the details will be disclosed soon about FanCon, just know I'm always transparent about who I am and what I represent in this community. It's okay being transparent, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to talk to anyone, it's just not going to work." Regina Clement received an email regarding postponement as an original backer. They ran out of money. Supercat Chick, they had to know before a week out that things were going sideways. Unbelievable. Now, this is the element that I want to jump in on, because at the end of the day, it really, according to FanCon, makes it feel like the whole thing happened Wednesday or Thursday, that it happened so last minute, that the hotel were going to cancel 7 days out from the event. That is not how it works at all. At the end of the day, there would have been emails going backwards and forwards. There would have been communication. I'm just wondering if it was a case of FanCon giving the sell to the hotel, saying that it was all going to go ahead, saying it was going to go fine, and the hotel stretching out as long as they possibly can, trying to get any kind of backing and support from FanCon to allow them the confidence to go ahead with the event. And at the end of the day, it's just not happening. And now what I'm really encouraged by, like I say, the talent blast that was being sent out by a number of people, including myself on our social media, that people that were showcasing talent and exhibitors that were attending the show that are now completely out of pocket, and at the end of the day are now sharing Kickstarters, Patreons to try and help support those that are out of pocket. But what I'm also really encouraged by is there's a number of fan meetups. There's people that at the end of the day, all of these talents and all of these attendees are going to be heading towards Baltimore. And at the end of the day, there's been one or two people that have just gone, well, we're all in town anyway, let's do something about it, which I've just been blown away by. I think that's just really, really encouraging. I'm trying to find the information which was put out, if you could bear with me a second, because it's just been a case of everyone talking to each other, and I'm not entirely sure if that was entirely what FanCon's intention was, but that seems to be the case. That seems to be the way it's worked out. Yeah, here we go. Black Heroes Matter. So they have secured a massive space for an all-day pop-up con on the Saturday. It would be the Wimcoco building, which is a mile from the convention center. You can actually search for it on Twitter using the hashtag YComic-Con. So that's WYCOMICON. And basically any vendors that are showing up in town, they can basically attend this event. It's a pop-up shop, a pop-up con calling saving the day. And I think that is just so encouraging that the community has come together when this just hasn't worked together. Yes, I spotted this as well. Sarita P is stating the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con is honoring ticket holders. Friday will be free, Sunday half price. Everyone's coming together to support this thing where you really would have hoped that the organizers themselves would have done something. It's like the this groundswell has been generated in their absence. And at the end of the day, when a bunch of organizers go absent, you're never going to get that trust back. You only get one chance to make a first impression, which is rather bad. Alyssa, you found yourself a quiet place by the looks of things.
No, I'm in an elevator.
Fair enough. Did you catch any of that, by the way?
I not very much, to be honest with you. I needed to borrow Aaron's selfie stick and oops, sorry, and get myself situated to do the walkthrough of the show floor, and just to give people an idea of the layout. I will say, from what I've heard, that went down, this is the exact thing that Accidental Aliens was talking about doing a Kickstarter, and then producing your artwork, producing your product. And most people have it backwards. You need to produce your artwork and then do the Kickstarter. And that's kind of, I think sometimes creatives miss that, that they need to it always takes longer to get stuff done. I'm going to do a switch around here so you guys can see what is happening. Forgive the audio volume if it's not as crisp as it was before with the microphone. We just came off of the elevators there. That's up to Artist Alley on the 9th floor. We're walking through a pool area.
Very quick, while you're walking, maybe you can answer this question to me then. Like you say, the Artist Alley is up on the 9th floor. What's on the floors in between?
Hotel rooms.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Right. This kind of gives an overview of the where we are in the whole complex, and then no worries. Thank you. We walk through this pool area, which is connecting the two, and just on the other side there, where you saw the cosplayers come out from, is where we're going to start to get into some small panel rooms and press registration for badges. So like I said, this really has that small con feel to it. Of course, the weather is gorgeous, so you can't have the con by the pool, so to speak. Absolutely. So I'm just going to peek through registration so people kind of get an idea of the size of the room. And this is one of the panel rooms that we have here. How is my volume?
It's fine for the moment. It's fine.
Okay. And Matt is...
I spot a familiar face.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to see if I can get him to just wave.
Sure, okay.
I just love this stuff too much.
Take an opportunity to say hi on camera, Mark.
Hi, Matt. How are you doing, sir?
Matt, I'm gonna run and see Artist Alley. Okay, wonderful.
And I see a Mr. Sarkowicz in the background as well.
All right, hey guys.
Hi there. How are you?
You were missed.
Let me try and get the three. Where is it? Okay, there you guys. Oh, we got all of us in. Oh my.
Hey guys, thank you so much.
Now you see, this is the thing.
No, we're live.
We're live. Yeah.
Live.
It's like we're really there. Oh, hey.
Now this is the thing. I actually thought that Rob and Matt were the same person, but now that I can see that we've got them on screen.
We're having a hard time hearing you. And we'll get back to you in a few minutes. What I wanted to show you was how accessible everybody is.
We're all here. We're all hanging out.
We're all here. Right. So people, anybody you want to talk to, you can just walk up to and talk to. I've had plenty of opportunity to talk to some of Ben and Brentford, who are here earlier. I've got plenty of opportunity to talk to the organizers of the convention, and I've had it's been really a nice. It's been really nice to not to have to hurry the conversation through things. So
Sure.
that's that. When we go back into the show floor, I suspect it's going to be a bit noisy. I'm not going to be able to talk very much, but I do want to give people an idea about what it is. So let me take, if you want to kind of go over and do the narration, just for what we're seeing, it's pretty straightforward, and it should probably only take us, I want to say 3 minutes or so, 3 to 5 minutes. The show floor is not big.
Fair enough.
So we ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Just turn the camera around so people can see.
Sure. I mean, I do quite like the idea that it is an accessible show that you can actually speak to. Oh, very nice. I get the reference. Thank you very much indeed. Any Snoopy reference is good by me. Yeah. Let's have a look. So we've got Gaslight Expo. While I can imagine Matt was turning around and thinking to himself, I'm not that accessible. Don't, for God's sake, please. I've got, there's only so much time I've got. This is like Alyssa says, it's a very small, to be honest, it's not that small. It's still a relatively decent sized event. Although I think we've got a frozen picture there. Okay, obviously signal's going to be a little bit awkward inside a ballroom. Oh, it's good to see long boxes at Comic-Cons. People selling comics. Can't say further than that. Not so much on the cosplay, but then again, it's early doors, so people are just getting started. And it is very warm out at the end of the day. Let's have a look who we've got. In fact, there's lots of long boxes. I am encouraged by this. This is fantastic. There you go. On-site comic pressing. Fair enough. Storyboard artist for over 100 feature films. Thank you very much, Mr. Sholly. And no doubt featured in a number of the those books. Having his breakfast, excellent stuff. But this is what I'm encouraged by: lots of long boxes. That's good. I have no problem with that. Let's have a look at see what we've got. See even more. A little bit of treasure trove hunting. Fantastic. And it's looking like old school boxes as well. We're not just talking new titles. It's what the amount of comics. I'm really encouraged by this. Now, obviously, this is the exhibition floor, so not so much in the way of artists. That's all up in the artist alley. One or two, though, that are showing their wares. And by looks of things, some classic artwork. Some sketchbooks there from William Stout Montes. Excellent stuff. And there's been very much a classic monsters, classic Hollywood vibe to it, which is always encouraging. It's tying in that history, which is great. Boris Karloff comic books. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But there's obviously a lot of digging around. Into the Blue Mister. I met William Stout at Comic-Con at San Diego. How was that? Tell us about it. Did you get the chance to speak? He's an absolute gent. Now I think I spot a poster coming up. A bit of Kirby. Can't beat a bit of Kirby. Oh no, it's Lord of Light Prince. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's Kirby. I spot a familiar poster coming up in terms of yes, the Leewalds. I'm wondering if we're going to get the chance to speak to these two. These are the guys, former showrunners and the writers of the animated series. I think Alyssa's got it on mute at this point. I don't think she can hear us. I really want to speak to those guys because they're a lot of fun. Scott Shaw, who we managed to speak to at on a previous convention, I think it was WonderCon. Top bloke, great person to chat to. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not massive. I mean, it's a standard hotel ballroom size, and I can understand and appreciate that, but it ain't overly small. I mean, like you say, Alyssa did kind of blitz through the exhibition floor there.
And now I'm out into a quiet area. I did catch the fact that you did want to speak with a couple of gentlemen.
Oh no, yeah, no, it was the husband and wife team. Yes, it would be the Leewolds, the people behind X-Men, the animated series.
I have my headset, and what it's going to need me to do is I'll need a couple of minutes to rejigger the setup.
Fair enough.
So if you want to take that now, I could go and see if I can redo the setup and go and see if they're available.
By all means, by all means. I'll tell you what, while you're doing that, I will just wrap up this story then regarding UniversalFanCon. This was yesterday, very early on yesterday morning. They released an official statement around midnight with an FAQ attached, citing financial deficit as the main proponent as to why they cannot continue operations at this time. That's the core. That's the core statement. They're saying that it's a postponement. It's not a true cancellation. They are not considering it as a cancellation. Because of that, all tickets are still final sale, which is one way of doing it. Although there is not going to be an event next week, there is going to be still an Infinity War screening that is available to attend. What I'm curious to know is if any of the organizers are going to be in attendance. Because if that's the case, while people will be wanting to go and see Infinity War, I can imagine there's going to be a bunch of people that are wanting to go and see them face to face and have quiet words, sharp ones, short ones, punctuated with lots of shouting, perhaps.
It's amazing to me that people would have that kind of a cavalier attitude towards other people's money. I mean, I've seen analogies to that rock fest that happened on that island last year.
Yeah, Fire Festival.
Mm-hmm. So it's right up there with that, in my humble opinion. So,
well, I mean, the only difference is with Fire Festival, they didn't actually say that there were any problems until people got off the plane, and then people discovered the issues. Admittedly, this is still a week out, but yeah. There's an excellent article, and I really would recommend you checking out. This is on Nerdophiles. I'll try and get the link, and I will share that out, where they've done a fantastic timeline on the whole event. So, who are we speaking to?
We are going to be speaking with Sean Richter. Richter. Okay, I pronounced it correctly. Here, I'm going to turn the camera around and and pass the headset over to him. Gavin's dad, and otherwise known as.
Well, hello there.
That must be so hard to suddenly be relegated as Gavin's dad. That's harsh. That's harsh.
Well,
how you doing, sir?
It's Gavin's dad or Bucky's dad or Lisa's boyfriend. I need a business card big enough to hold all of those titles. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm fine, thank you. You're not in cosplay today? Have you been?
I literally just got up to change into my Wolverine costume. So
there you go then. Because the one thing, I mean, when we've just had a quick tour around, we haven't seen much in the way of cosplay. Obviously, it's early doors. It's early doors. But how's cosplay been at Comic Fest?
Well, like any convention, Saturday is the big day for everything. So there was a lot of cosplay here yesterday. This morning it is early. I do want to point out this amazing Joker cosplayer that's coming up behind us right here. This gentleman right here. Can we get a shot of this Joker? Can you look right there?
Wow.
Right there. He's awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you.
If you could just let Alyssa, if you could just let Alyssa know that we're getting sound through the headset. Sorry, the handset, not the headset. Sorry.
Getting sound through the handset.
And not the
I don't know
headset.
what that means, and not the headset.
Yep.
We're getting
Yeah,
sound
we
through
had.
the handset, but not the headset.
Yeah, we had this
She's
issue
fumbling.
before.
She's fumbling with cables and stuff. She has this very angry look on her face. She's very frustrated.
Oh no! Isn't her angry face so funny?
Actually, she was more smiling than angry. I don't know if that was angry or not.
No, that's the thing. You can't tell. That's the funny thing about it.
I don't know.
She has one emotion. Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, if you guys can hear me, stop it. Stop. Moving on. I'm not sure why we're getting only getting audio through the headset.
Fair enough.
Is turn it around so Sean can speak directly to you.
Okay.
And and of course I've got to remember to do the camera while I'm doing that.
You want me to hold this?
Yeah,
all
sure.
Right, let me turn around all the lights over here. There, now you can see me.
There, and now I can see you. There you go. Excellent stuff. So, I mean, this is not your first time at Comic Fest. How have you been experiencing it this time around?
It's good. Yeah, I think this is my third year coming to Comic Fest. We have a number of small conventions in San Diego, like so many of them. It's crazy. And more of them are popping up. Rocket Con is next weekend. There's a cosplay con in May sometime. Like so many little conventions. And Comic Fest, I think, is the biggest and best of the smaller conventions, in my opinion. It's more well attended, more exhibitors, more cosplay. It is slow today with the cosplay, but the attendance today for a Sunday is pretty good, I would say.
I think the thing as well that I really like about it is that it ties in the history of not only old school Comic-Con, but also old school fandoms, old school properties, and it ties it all in with current fandoms. I think it honors the history, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I think if you talk to some of the people that have been going to Comic-Con for a really long time, this is basically what Comic-Con was back in the day. And I believe this is run by one or two people that started Comic-Con. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I believe so. No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Somebody just gave me two fingers, not those fingers. But, telling me that there's two people that run Comic Fest that once back in the day started San Diego Comic-Con.
Cool. I mean, Alyssa was talking about how easily accessible it is to speak to people and speak to talent. Is that how you found it?
Oh yeah. I mean, all these small cons are typically that way. It's a great vibe. Everybody's friendly. There's a fair number of exhibitors here. The other thing I like, if you're looking for gifts and gadgets, Funko Pops, 6-inch figures, whatever, Legos, the pricing is a lot better at a smaller convention like this. You get a lot better deals. I got this awesome Punisher shirt right here. It's a polo.
Very nice.
I don't know if I can do this right. Here, show them the back. The back. This is a cool shirt.
Absolutely.
It's a cool shirt, and this vendor here, he's got a whole table of shirts, and I got 4 shirts for $20. So this polo was $5. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for like Legos or Funkos or 6-inch figures, much better pricing at a smaller con like this than like San Diego.
Cool. Certainly, when we were speaking to the guys upstairs in Artist Alley, they were saying that it has been growing. It's been very much a show that's developing really nicely. What's it been like in terms of how busy it's gotten? I mean, have you kind of noticed a decent footfall through the door?
Well, for a small 3-day convention in San Diego, and again, we have a bunch of them here, this one is definitely the most well-attended. Yesterday, for the size of the convention, was very well-attended, I felt. And it was, some of these smaller cons, a lot of people tend to get there when they open for whatever reason, and then by halfway through the day, it's really dead. And this one yesterday, I was here most of the day, and it was a very steady, even flow throughout the whole day. So it was a good pace.
Well, that's the West Coast relaxed style for you. Sort of like people just wandering in when they feel like it.
Pretty much. We're not quite on Hawaii time, if you're familiar with that.
Excellent stuff. Listen, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Really appreciate it. What have you got planned for the rest of the day? I mean, obviously you're going to go and get dressed up, but is there anything else that you're going to be checking out today?
Well, I know some of the artists here, and I've already talked to everybody. It's my third day here in a row. I'm getting photobomb back there by her. I'll probably go talk to them again. I don't know if you're familiar with Lee Cozy. Did you guys talk to Lee today?
Yeah.
Lee's one of my favorite artists. He's an awesome dude and just amazingly talented. I'm here with the Science Fiction Coalition. I have to give us a plug. So I'm an art.
Well, tell you what, give it the full plug then. Give us a website. Tell us about it. Go on then.
Well, the Science Fiction Coalition is a science fiction fan club. We started here in San Diego. I'm getting a low battery alarm.
Yeah.
My system here, clear that.
Yeah.
There we go. We started January 1st of last year in San Diego, and we do a lot of charity events. We do visits to Children's Hospital or Ronald McDonald House, a lot of charitable 5K runs, which we have a bunch of here in San Diego. Events like that where they want superhero and Star Wars and science fiction type characters in costume and just kind of mingle and take photos with people. So we have a good number of cosplayers in our group. And we're here at Comic Fest. There's our table right there, right beside the door. That's Sean Mullen. He's our founder. We created all of this a year ago, and now we have sectors. So San Diego is Sector 1, we were first. And then one of our members moved up to Reno about a year ago, and he wanted to keep it going. So Sector 2 is in Reno. And then, there's a lot of cosplayers, of course, in LA that we know, and now we have Sector 3 in Los Angeles. So
you see,
very, very quickly growing. We're going to be at 18 conventions this year. Crazy.
Congratulations! You've now gone viral. Well done.
All right, excellent.
Excellent stuff. Where's the best place to find more information about the organization? Is there a website?
For the Science Fiction Coalition?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sci-fi-coalition.org. And I like photobombs, so I'm really getting excited that she's back there looking over my shoulder. Ooh, there she is. And then we're all over social media. Just look for Science Fiction Coalition. I don't know exactly what our Twitter and here we go. Facebook is Sci-Fi Coalition. Instagram is Sci-Fi Coalition. Twitter, somebody already had taken Sci-Fi Coalition.
What?
So it's Sci-Fi _Coalition on Twitter. But you can always search for us. You'll find us. We're easy to find. And we're doing events all the time. Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
She's giving me the signal over here. All right.
Yeah.
Thank
there
you.
We go.
Talk to you.
Thank you very much, Judy. See you in San Diego, man.
I was just going to say, I will see you in San Diego, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, man.
Take care, then, man. Look after yourself.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Always a pleasure.
I'm all set. Thank you. So, Leonard, we're not doing anything with the mic?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you on the mic now.
Okay. I am running out of power, so
yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to do the lady, the husband and wife team.
Don't worry.
Unless I give my phone some time to charge up.
No, it's okay.
Fly a corner so that we can go over everything.
Sure.
And you guys can just kind of get an idea about what's been happening. The big thing that I had wanted to say to everybody is that I really got the feeling that this is the power of the group. We had the alien panel that Aaron hosted, which frankly really brought into getting these small creative groups together so that they can not have to do it all themselves. Kid Comics, who was a guest on our one of our shows a few weeks ago for Black Comics Day in San Diego at one of the local libraries here, does it all by himself. So consequently, he doesn't have that backup so that he can make sure that everything gets published, make sure
Oh, I'm just wondering if we have in fact lost Alyssa. Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
You froze up for a second there.
Oh, okay. Well, it happens. I'm just trying to find a quiet corner, and I'm on a Verizon signal. So that was the kind of the thing that I wanted to really get over to people was that I'm going to try and lose the headset entirely and see if that helps.
Okay.
How are we now?
A little bit louder.
Oh, good. Okay, well, there you go. I have no idea what's happening with the technology. I'm starting to get back into real life, so hopefully next week's show will be produced better. Unfortunately, won't have as many pictures and interesting guests.
Indeed. Well, that's the thing, because next week I am going to be I'm heading to ThamesCon, which is an event that's taking place in Oxford. I've been invited down to host their panels, so I'm going to be taking part in that. And then the weekend after, I'm going to be at MCon in Nottingham. So yeah, it's busy. We're back on the road. We're just back on the road.
Good. Is there anything? Can you give me a couple of minutes so I can transfer over to my battery?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we'll let you do that, and we'll just cover a couple of the other bits and pieces that are currently have been talked about this week in con news. A couple of there's been a cancellation, or a couple of cancellations that I've heard about. I wanted to one that's been floated around, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to overstep my boundary. Basically stating that they may not be able to make it to Comic-Con, but one that has definitely cancelled. J. Michael Straczynski of Babylon 5 fame has announced that he will not be able to make it to the convention in San Diego, basically stating that it's all about work, and at the end of the day he has far too much on his plate, so he won't be able to make it, unfortunately. Another thing that came up, which I'm actually quite interested in, is the job opportunities that have been announced by San Diego Comic-Con, Comic-Con International, regarding their museum for pop culture that is held up at, or currently in construction at Balboa Park. They are currently advertising for two interesting positions, in that these are for large donor supervisors. So basically someone to hold the hands of your peoples, like your Intels, your Microsofts, etc., etc. Because at the end of the day, the whole thing is non-profit, so it's all going to rely on donations. So it's two donation positions, which seems very specific positions for people to hold in this particular organization. But at the end of the day, we are talking about five-figure, six-figure donation, and the people that are going to hold the hand of those particular donors. We've got those, and we've also got basically somebody who encourages the donations. So it's kind of like a double-hander. It's currently available on comiccon.com. Comiccon.org. Do check out the links if it's something that you've, I don't know, been vaguely interested in doing, getting involved in the running of a museum of this kind. At the end of the day, it's presenting a very unified and professional kind of face to these very big donors. So you're basically going to be holding the hand of some rather large wallets. So if that's something that you're interested in, do check that out. What else have we got on the docket as well? Plenty of sweepstakes and competitions that have been announced this week. Of course, the Diamond Comic Distributors sweepstake is still up and running, as is the Traveling Stories and IDW sweepstake. However, there have been one or two announcements this week of a couple, certainly which are of interest for international fans, because they are available for international applicants. Warner TV Asia and also Mike's Harder which is hosting a competition which not only allows you to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but will allow you to attend a screening of Deadpool 2. Which it all ties in together to that on that regard. And also the announcement as well that Entertainment Weekly is announcing that have announced that they will be hosting their party, their infamous party again at San Diego, but you can actually attend via a sweepstake competition, which I believe is being run through amaze.com. So lots of things are starting to tie together, and all of these you can find out about, of course, on friendsofcc.com and also on an Englishman in San Diego.com as well. So, Alyssa, you've got yourself all plugged in. If you want to kind of wrap things up when it comes to Comic Fest, what are your thoughts?
I will say, yes. Thoughts, it runs the combination of the old school science fiction authors, the three Bs, Brynford, Bryn, and Bear. And there was a few others that kind of joined him with that old school sci-fi, smart, irreverent attitude that runs through the entire convention. And the gear towards science brings this to a whole other level. Very akin, I can't help but comparing it to Silicon Valley Comic-Con, which also had the science component, but it was a lot more glitzy. This is a lot more old school comic vendors with, the adherence to Kirby's legacy, but you also had people bringing in diversity issues and cultural issues about when can you appropriate somebody else's cultural mythology into your video game, and how true to that mythology do you have to be, which also brought up the topic of Latinos in the writing room, because how can you appropriate somebody's mythology, the Latino mythologies, without having somebody who can write to the culture. There was in addition to that, there was a women's panel that I saw with some amazing creative women from the 70s and 80s in comics doing underground, very, very innovative, because there were so many men who had the misconception that women weren't reading comics. Well, women weren't reading superhero comics with big muscle-bound guys and women who had breasts bigger than their heads. Yeah, they weren't reading those comics, but they still wanted comics about their story. And I think that whole idea of inclusiveness with a tribute towards the old school smart, hard science fiction is definitely put this on one of my highlights for the year. It's a small con. It's not, I'm not going to say you should do 3 days here. You can, unless you're really into the panels, like I am, it's probably a 1-day con.
Fair enough.
But
I'll tell you what, there is a question I want to ask then, because, I mean, we've got Into the Blue Mister, who's turned around very encouraged, as was I, with all the long boxes and all the comics that were available on the exhibition floor. That was very, very encouraging. The content that we've seen, the classic old school Hollywood monsters, the old school comics, the old school legacy creators, at which point I then have to ask, who's the target audience for this? Do you feel it's for a slightly, I'm not going to say older, a more appreciative, mature audience, rather than you're slightly more fresh off the bus kind of guy?
Yes, and I noticed that too. I especially noticed that on Friday when it was predominantly older folk.
Okay.
You are not talking out of school with regards to that. They have been making efforts. For example, they've got the Girl Scout troop in this morning working on one of their Girl Scout badges. They brought in a whole grade of middle schoolers yesterday as a field trip. So, you know, they are bringing that into it. It's a little bit harder when when your focus is the old school stuff.
Yeah.
But that is because of who started this con and what this con is about. And it's about back to our roots of what a comic convention was in the 80s. So
yeah. Into the blue mister. I think vintage is the word you're looking for. But I didn't want to paint an entire. I didn't want to paint an entire attendee with the brush vintage. I don't know if that's even worse than older.
Oh, we got a cute doggy. Sorry. I am sitting by a door, so that's
fair enough.
We get little,
okay.
You know, occasionally we get little doggies that come through and people that come through.
Fair enough.
Just, you know, when I look off screen. One thing that I did hear is that they had to move from one vendor, one hall last year to another area this year, and that's why it's so spread out over the 9th floor of Artist Alley, and then we walked through the pool area to the registration and show floor. Up above the show floor are a couple of other halls that are probably, I want to say 50 to 100, you know, that kind of, maybe even 30 people, but that's where most of the science panels are being held, is up above there. So you kind of, there are a number of larger panel rooms too.
Fair enough. Okay, no, I think it sounds encouraging. I mean, the original remit of Comic Fest of being what Comic-Con used to be, it kind of fulfills that entire remit. So you can hardly blame them for being very much skewed towards a slightly older demographic when it comes to not only the content but also the attendees as well. So at the end of the day, you're seeing a show in Genesis. But at the end of the day, we are 7 years in. I think we're looking at the Matt Dunford era, admittedly. So we're talking, you could say we're 2 years into this new event as well. And I'm really liking the look of it. Like I say, I don't think I could be more thrilled to see some long boxes at a comic convention. I'm down with that. So there we go. Excellent stuff. Go on. I think we'll wrap things up and let you get off and enjoy the rest of your show.
Okay. Well, I don't have my weekend television in front of me. Oh, actually, I do. I brought this up.
Oh, my word. Okay.
So weekend television, we're actually going to do this. Well, I cannot skip this week because it's just so... After last week when we had Lost in Space, where everybody got lost for a week, you know, in that, and the start of all the Walking Deads and all of that, Fear the Walking Dead time slot premiere is happening tonight. Of course, we've got Into the Badlands, which is the two things. So AMC has been doing marathons for Fear of the Walking Dead and Into the Badlands, which is great for me. I turn it on when I get back from the con, and I'm just like, and I need to watch a couple of shows, and it's right there. It's perfect. And also we have HBO's Westworld is dropping tonight too. So I know that that's a big one for you.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting for this.
Yes, exactly. I mean, a lot of people are. So Silicon Valley has got a new episode happening. And so HBO is really kind of dropping on that Westworld idea with following Westworld up with Silicon Valley, Barry, Chapter 5. And then the last show tonight is last week tonight with John Oliver. So, you know, they're laying it hard in, as is AMC tonight. So it's, you know, definitely want to make sure your DVR is working, because you want to capture both of those if you possibly can. Tuesday, we get The 100 comes back for its 5th season premiere. Which I have not been following the show, so I'm not really going to talk to it. PBS is doing a show called First Civilization's War. This series seems to be, if you are all interested in the early human existence, you probably want to catch this one. National Geographic is also coming back with the 2nd season of a show called Genius. Perhaps people would remember the 1st season of Genius last year. It was on Einstein, and I believe it was a 6 or a 7 episode show.
I believe it was 6, yeah.
Yep, gave an idea of his life and times. This year they're doing Picasso, so I'm interested in watching it. And I have to say, Wednesday is the highlight of my week. When we get on Hulu, we get to see Handmaid's Tale. Season 2 comes back. That's the one. I know you're on Westworld, and I'm really on the Handmaid's Tale. Well, you know,
I've no problem with that.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just it and the early reviews are coming out are saying some pretty nice things about it. So that's, you know, that's right up there. We've got Archer is coming back for its 9th season. A show that's happening on Netflix called 3.5%. I did a little blurb on this, the 1st season. The 2nd season is dropping on Friday. I believe it's a Brazilian science fiction show. I'm dredging this out of memory, so I could be wrong. It could be Australian, but I saw the first couple of episodes, and it was pretty interesting in its take on new science fiction. So that may be of something of interest to people. For the toy people, we've got a Hulu show on Barbie, which is dropping towards the end of the week.
Right. If this is Tales of Toys, if it's basically if it's the 6-part documentary about toy fandoms, if it's the one that's been on Netflix, check this out. It's absolutely awesome.
I don't think it is.
No,
it is in the same one, but I will agree that 6-part series has been getting a lot of buzz.
It's so good.
Yeah.
At first, you think it's just going to be a kind of straightforward telling of the story of how the toys were made and the kind of story. I'm sorry, but the story of Barbie is just insane. The story of He-Man is insane. Yeah, check that out. It's a hell of a series.
This one is called Tiny Shoulders.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, it's a different show.
60 years of Barbie being the, how do they put it, inner workings of the toy giant during Barbie's biggest reinvention. Surveys 60 years of women in popular culture.
Like I say, the Netflix show that I saw, it kind of got under the dirty fingernails of Barbie. The kind of the sex dungeons that it funded, and yeah, very, very awkward. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if it'll go quite that deep, but who knows?
It would be interesting. It would be interesting. One last thing, just to put on people's radar for the first time, the American football is doing specials on the draft, the NFL draft. So if you live with somebody who follows football, they're probably going to be a little neurotic at a really weird time of the year for football. I don't understand why putting the draft, people need to put the draft on the TV, but there you go.
Fair enough.
You know, as I've just disowned all of our football following people.
Fair enough. Okay, well, tell you what, we've got a couple of comments that are coming on the Q&A, stuff that you may have missed. Agrozuko is finally on Netflix. Says Super Cat Chick. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8 exclamation points. She's excited. She's excited about that. Sarita P is mentioning about the announcement of the cancellation of Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking, because not only that, but even as somebody who wasn't watching it like myself, even I've been hearing that it's a show that has been on its stride, and it has just been consistently hitting out of the park. It's just not found the audience, which is a shame. She's also mentioning about a sci-fi series that starts on Monday from AMC. It actually starts on, let's have a look. It started some time ago, I believe, on the April the 30th. Oh no, so it starts a week on Monday. So yes, this is a series called James Cameron's Story of Science Fiction. I mean, it looks interesting enough. There's some. I mean, the first episode is about aliens, yeah, it really gets into kind of like the nuts and bolts of classic sci-fi.
Yeah, we'll go over that one next week. That's
absolutely.
That's absolutely on my radar. That
Fair
looks
enough.
like it could be a very good show. It depends on how deep they go into it. And as you said about toys, if they go under the fingernails, they certainly have enough talent behind the show to tell some good stories. Last night here, for example, there was a couple of showrunners on who told some amazing stories about Oscar De Laurenti. No, that's the fascia guy. De Laurenti for Dune.
Dino De Laurentiis.
No. Yes, Dino De Laurenti. And David Lynch and Blue Velvet, and just some really hilarious backstories about personalities.
Yeah.
So if it gets into that history show that Sarita mentioned, it could be really fun. And that was what I really enjoyed about the Bear Brinford, the 3B panel, Bear Brinford and Bohr. Not Bohr, but anyway, Anyway, those three guys, Bryn, is the little backstories, and I think that's what panels really are fun for.
Cool. Excellent stuff. I will turn around and say, I know that we didn't get the chance to talk about Lost in Space. I watched the first 4 episodes of it. I don't know what I was expecting from the series, but it wasn't this. This is not your grandparents' Lost in Space. It's something new. It's something exciting. It's something visceral. I like the fact that you aren't just with the Robertsons that are lost. We're talking all sorts of other colonists that are also thrown across the other side of the galaxy, and therefore it becomes a real power play thing. I like what they've done with Smith. I really like what they've done with the robot. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with the rest of the show. Like I say, I'm about 5 or 6 episodes in, and I'm digging it, and I certainly would recommend it.
I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. I've got my DVR. I have like a 6 terabyte DVR, and I mean, I could put weeks and seasons of shows on it. It is cram packed of stuff to watch after my walkabout. So I will be, speaking of DVRs, I will be at home next week in New Hampshire, broadcasting from my regular location. I believe Leonard is going to be on walkabout.
I'm not. No, I'm going to be back. Basically, the show that I'm attending is Thames Con in Oxford. If you are going to be there, we'd love to see. I'd love to say hi. This is an event that's been organised. It's a brand new or relatively new convention. It's only being held one day. It's on a Saturday, so I'm going to be doing Saturday, driving home, and then I'll be bringing my full review from that. So yeah, looking forward to it. And then the weekend after, I'm going to be at MCon Nottingham. That's when I will be on walkabout, because yeah, it's a long drive. So no, I'll be bringing a live report from Nottingham. That's in 2 weeks' time.
Okay. So
there we go.
Should be more stable and have less technical issues next week. Fingers
We
crossed.
can only hope. We can only hope. I mean, it says a lot that on my end, it's been fine. It's just you that's been left.
I know. Maybe I should have done a little bit more prep work.
Don't worry about it.
I may not accept that criticism as being valid.
No worries, no worries. Listen, we'll let you get off. One more time, could you let people know where people can find you online?
Absolutely. Friends of CCI is my Twitter handle. I'm trying to do a little bit more with that these days. But as long-time people know, I go up and down with that sort of stuff. And I'm talking about getting back into the swing of things, feeling really good about my future, feeling really good about moving down to San Diego. And just the reception from all my friends down here has been fabulous. But in my travels, as I make my way across the country to San Diego, by July 1st, people are going to always find me on the forum, which is friendsofcc.com. You've got both the blog, which does the weekly TV article, and you've got the forum, and you can just do a search for my name and or PM me. So it was really fun running into Dan Barry and all the coverage that he's giving you and the Geekery this week with all of his Recordia panels. What does your schedule look like for getting those up on the air?
Well, as soon as he gets them into the Dropbox, I'll start editing them together, and hopefully I'll get them up on anywhere between Tuesday and Wednesday. Fingers crossed. However, on Wednesday, however, I am going to be resting, quite frankly, because it's going to be a long night. Avengers, it's finally here. So yes, I am going to be attending the midnight screening for Avengers Infinity War at Sheffield Cineworld. We suspect it's going to be our last one at this particular venue because they're getting more and more stingy with the way that they're hosting their midnight screenings. No, I will be doing a Periscope, which is going to be a kind of a sense of what I felt of Avengers is. It's going to be spoiler free, and I'll be doing that a couple of hours after midnight once I've seen the film. Another thing that I will be posting this week, I've been sent a press copy of a book which I think I want to give and get for every single person I know that goes to a comic convention, specifically San Diego. It's a book called The Con Artist. It's been written by Fred Vellante, who's a writer of Marvel Zombies, Deadpool, some great books, great comics. But he's written a prose detective novel of a murder that has happened at San Diego Comic-Con. And an artist has been framed, and he's determined to find out who actually did it. It's awesome. It is so good. Basically, if you have been to San Diego Comic-Con, if you are as deep into it as we are, you will know every square inch of where he describes. It's amazing.
That sounds really fun. I am looking forward to your opinion and your take on that, just because I think that the more we get this out, we get the con culture out there, the better and the funner, and more people can see how just much of a blast it is getting together with good friends. And,
that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. It's while it is set at San Diego Comic-Con, it's a murder mystery. It's about it's about all of that, and you can definitely tell that it's been written by an exhibitor at a convention because all the interesting stuff happens at night. It's all the stuff that happens at the evening. It's yes. Right. Oh yeah. Right. It all happens in the bar, baby.
there is an element of truth to that. I just do want to say one thing that I am going to be getting both an article up on Silicon Valley Con and San Diego Comic Fest, and I think I may even try and work on a third one that would just get a comparison between the two. So that is coming, and keep an eye out for it, just to people who are watching.
Fair enough. As for myself, you can follow me on my social media at Englishman SDCC, and of course keep a track on what we get up to on an Englishmaninsandiego.com. We'll be, of course, going through all the guests as well. We're starting to put together all of our Comic-Con articles and guides and utility belt stuff together, so all the special guest stuff's announced. We are starting to put our exclusive posts up together as well. All of that you can find on an Englishmaninsandiego.com, and of course you can support what we get up to and listen to exclusive content, including panel recordings, at patreon.com/EnglishmanSDCC. We're going to let you get off. It's been a bit of a long show, so we're going to dive off. We're going to let Alyssa go and enjoy the rest of Comic Fest. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Alyssa, say your farewells. Oh, she's muted herself.
Okay. Well, no. We had some loud people come through it. I just wanted to not inflict that upon all of our listeners, our lovely listeners that we greatly appreciate.
Oh, very much so.
We'll come back and watch us next week.
So we'll say our farewells. Like I say, the waitlist stuff goes out as of tomorrow. Fingers crossed for you. If you haven't heard in the first wave, let's hope that on the wait list.
One other quick thing is, I believe today is the last day to get your parking requests in.
It is indeed.
Okay, and I'm
completely. As somebody who doesn't drive in San Diego, I completely forgot about that. Sorry about that. Yes, absolutely. Go if that's something that you need to do. Today is your deadline on that one. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. From Alyssa in San Diego and for myself here in the UK. We're back again next week as we bring you a report of ThamesCon and also all the rest of the things that have been getting up to in the last 7 days. From us to you, take care.
Bye-bye.